Yeah. Hello everyone. Good morning. Myself Muralidhar Reddy. I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect. Now we are going to discussing about AWS VPC endpoints. What is AWS VPC endpoints? Okay. And also what are the types of VPC endpoints available? And we can see the demo for S3 as well. Okay. First you can go here. This is our GitHub repo. Tech Murli and AWS 0 to hero. Here we have a README file. I already mentioned step by step. First, we can go with theory part, and then I will show you that practical as well. Coming to that, what is VPC endpoints? Where exactly it is useful? Coming to that VPC endpoints, it is allow you to privately connect your VPC to supported AWS services without requiring internet gateway or NAT gateway or NAT instance, and also VPN connection and AWS direct connect. Remember guys, if you use these VPC endpoints, you don't require any internet access. Everything it will go to the private only within the AWS only. Okay. There are two types of VPC endpoints available. One is interface endpoint. Second one is gateway endpoint. Remember, this interface endpoint is provided by AWS private link. Okay. Using this interface endpoints, we can connect our services like S3, DynamoDB table, and also SNS, SQS, CloudWatch, everything it will be. Using this interface endpoints, we can connect through private only. Okay. Remember, guys, without using any public IP address, it is going through the ENI. Okay, fine. And also next one is gateway endpoint. Gateway endpoints, it is directly, these are used to connect directly to services like S3, DynamoDB table within your VPC without needing any internet gateway and NAT gateway. Remember, there are two different things. Internet interface endpoint, right? It will be support a lot of services, but when it comes to the gateway endpoints, it will be support only DynamoDB and S3. We can see that differentiation so that you will get more idea. Okay, fine. And coming to the key benefits, coming to the first one is security. So here, when you use this either interface endpoint or a gateway endpoint, here the traffic doesn't leave the AWS network. So it is reducing the exposing to potential threats. Okay. And the privacy also, you don't require any public IP address to connect your AWS services, and also reliability as well, because the connection is highly available and secure within our AWS network only. Okay. Understand that? These are the two types, and we can see that differentiation so that you will get some idea, and then we can go for demo as well. Okay. Fine. Now, if you see here we have a gateway endpoint and interface endpoint. We can see the features. Coming to the supported services, when it comes to the gateway endpoint, it will be support only S3 and DynamoDB table. Okay, S3 and DynamoDB service only it will be support. And one more thing, remember this gateway endpoint, it will be worked within the region only. Okay, and coming to the interface endpoint, it will support lot of services, S3, DynamoDB, Lambda, SQS, SNS, CloudWatch. There are multiple services it will be support, and also it will be support the multi-region. Multi-region means if we create this interface endpoint, we can create for we don't require to create a interface endpoint for other region. This same interface endpoint we can use it. But when it comes to the gateway endpoint, each and every region you have to create the separate gateway endpoint. Okay, and coming to the network layer, here the traffic it will be route table level routing. So when it comes to that interface endpoint, right, it is ENI with private IP address. ENI with private IP address. And coming to the traffic flow, route traffic through gateway in a route table. In the route table level, it will route the traffic, okay, through the gateway. Understand right? And coming to the interface endpoint, it route traffic through ENI with a private IP. Okay, understand right? And coming to the VPC configuration, when it comes to the gateway endpoint, it is simple route table update. But when it comes to the interface endpoint, we need to do little bit changes. Okay, and coming to the service access, here we can primarily for S3 and DynamoDB. Remember, so far this gateway endpoint, it will be support only S3 and DynamoDB table. In future, it will support other services as well. Okay, and coming to the interface endpoint, it is more flexible and support many AWS services. As I said, SNS, SQS, there are multiple AWS services will be support. We can use it for that one. Okay. And coming to the cost wise, right? When you use the gateway endpoint, you don't require to create, it won't be charge anything. It won't be charge anything. Okay. No additional cost for the gateway itself. And coming to the interface endpoint, it will be charged for hourly basis and also GB. For GB, it will be support. Understand that? And use cases, as I said, gateway endpoint. If you have a S3 and DynamoDB table, you wanted to use only within the region, then go with the gateway endpoint. In case if you have a different services, you wanted to go with privately. I mean, route the traffic. Go to the traffic privately. Then we can go with the interface endpoint. Okay. Remember, in the real time, mostly depends on use cases will be used either gateway endpoint or interface endpoint. And also, I will show you the diagram so that you will get some idea. This is AWS official documentation, and here we can see that one of the beautiful diagram. Let me open this in the image level. Now, if you see here, this one. If you see here, this is the AWS account. Here we have a region. Okay, and then here we have a one VPC, and then here we have a two available zones. And each available zone we have created subnet. Okay, and if you see here gateway endpoint, if you see here, if you see here, sorry, 1 second. If you see here, gateway endpoint, gateway VPC endpoint, it will be support only DynamoDB and S3. It will be work only within the region only. Okay, and when it comes to the interface VPC endpoint, it is supporting lot of services. If you see here, API gateway, cloud formation, cloudwatch events, okay, logs, code build, config. There are multiple SNS, SKS. There are multiple services are supporting. That's why, as I said, depends on your use cases in the real time, whether you want to go with the gateway VPC endpoint, whether you want to go with the interface VPC endpoint. I will highly recommend, if you have a same region, if you wanted to use only for S3 and DynamoDB, I will suggest go with this gateway VPC endpoint. The reason, it won't be charged much. It is free of cost, right? As I said, there is no any additional cost. But if you want to use for SNS, SKS, some other things, then we will be suggest go with the interface VPC endpoint. So it will be charged for hourly and also for GB level, it will be charged. Okay, clear, right? Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. For that one, here I have a two EC2 instances. One is public EC2 instance and private EC2 instance. Okay, and here we have a one VPC, that is the infra VPC. In this particular infra VPC, 10.70 series, and here we can see that multiple subnets. If you see here, we have a public subnet, private app data subnets. Now what I'm going to do, if you go here route table, here in the private route table, 1A and 1B, if you go here 1A and 1B, and here we can see that 0.02, the specific NAT gateway we mentioned. It means the traffic, it will go through NAT gateway over the internet. Same thing for 1B. 1B also, we have added that particular NAT gateway. And also here in the internet gateway, that particular public route table, we have added the 0.02, the particular internet one. Okay, internet gateway. Okay, fine. Now what I will do, first here we have two things, right? One is public server and second one is private server. Now what I'm going to do here, first I will connect the public server. From the public server, I will connect the private server, and then I will show you like AWS S3 LS command, and then whether it is going through internet, or if you remove that route table inside the private route table, if you remove that NAT gateway, this entry, whether it is going through or not, then we can use the VPC endpoint. Okay, understand that? Fine. Now what I'm going to do, first you can connect the public server. Now I'm going to connect it. Here you can copy this. You may ask question, Murli, why do we record public subnet and connect to private? Yes, usually you don't require, but in our case, we don't have a client VPN or Cisco. If you want to be connect the private network, that's why what I'm doing here, right? The other possibilities, we can call it as a bastion host server. From here, we'll be connected. First, we'll connect the public server. From there, we'll be connect from public server to we'll connect the private server using PEM file only. Okay. If you see here also I'm showcasing. If you see here in the infra public subnet, I have created the public server, and also here you can see that. Come down. Here you can see that infra private subnet 1B. Okay, understand that? Fine. Now what I'm going to do? Now you can select this one, copy this one. Okay. Now you can go here, SSH-I. Our PEM file is infra-user address the specific one. Okay. Now if you see here, now I'm connecting this particular one. Okay. Now I have connected the public server. And then from here, I need to connect the private server. How do we do? How do we do? For that one, what we require, you have to select this private server. First, you have to take this private IP. But if you want to be connected, right, you need to check that which what is the PEM file. If you see here, our PEM file is infra.pem file. So what you have to do? Now you can take this particular infra.pem file. We can paste this particular one inside the public server. From there, we can connect it. Okay. Now I have copied the infra.pem file. Now you can go here. And then here you can give cat greater than infra. You can give any name, your wish. Infra.pem, enter. And then I have pasted here. Okay, super. Now you can enter and you can give the control D, it will save it. Okay. Now if you see here we can see that infra.pem file. Now I'm using cat command, whether it is there or not. If you see here, it is available. Okay, super. Now what is the next step? The next step, right? We need to connect. Remember one thing, your PEM file should be, the permission should be 400. Currently it is 644. If you are trying to connect, right, it will throw the error. Let me show you that one as well. SSH-I infra.pem EC2-user address, and then EC2-user address, and then you can give the private IP. Here, remember guys, first I have connected the public server. From there, I'm connecting private server. If you see here, enter, it is asking yes or no. If you give the yes, right, here it is throwing the error, unprotected private key file. Okay. Now what you have to do? Currently, we have the permissions is 644. What we have to do? Now we have to give the permissions 400. Remember, if you want to be connect to PEM file, right, you have to give the 400 permissions. Okay. chmod 400 infra.pem. Okay. Now enter. Now if you see here we can see that 400 only. Now I will try to connect that particular server again. Enter. Now if you see here, it is connected. Okay. Now I have connected to the private server. Now I'm going to the root user. If you see here, sudo su-. Here you may ask question, Murli, you connected the public server. From the public server, you connected the private server. That is fine. How it was connection happen? The reason, if you remember, when we set up that route table, during that time, we mentioned that here, if you see here, 10.70 series, anything local. It means if you have a one VPC, the particular VPC, if you have multiple route tables, the particular entry, right, it means local means, okay, the 10 series, 10.70 series, anything, right, it will be route the traffic internal only. That's why you are able to connect, even it is two different servers in the different subnets as well. Okay, now you are able to connect because of that particular 10.70 series. It is here we have a local. It means you don't require to do anything, automatically route the traffic internally. Okay, fine. Now what you have to do? Now what I'm going to do? Here we have done this. Well and good. Now what I'm going to do? Here I'm giving AWS S3 LS. Okay. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you for S3. Okay. Now enter. If you see here, when I give it, it is throwing the error like unable to locate credentials. You can configure the credentials. Now what I'm going to do? We can create a one IAM role and then we can attach. Go to the IAM role. Okay. Here, go to that roles here, left side, and create a role. Just an example I'm giving. You can select that AWS service, and here you can select that EC2. Okay, and then you can come down. You can click next because we are going to attach for EC2, right? That's why we have selected. And here I'm giving that S3. If you see here, I'm giving the S3 full access. Example I'm giving for S3. We are testing for S3, right? That's why. Now you can click next. And here I'm giving S3 role. Usually you have to give the proper name. Just example I'm giving here S3 role. And then you can come down. And here we can see that we have given that S3 full access. Okay. Now we can create a role. Now we have done this particular role, right? Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to attach this particular role to the private server. Okay. Now you can go here, go to the server, and this is the private server. Go to the actions, go to the security. modify IAM role, and here you can add your role. Now you can select this one here. You may ask question, Murli, can we mention that access key, secret key? Yes, we can mention, but that is not recommended. It is secure. Recommended way is always mention the IAM role, attach the IAM role instead of hard coding the access key and secret key. Okay, super. This part is clear. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to the server. This is a private server, right? Now you can enter. Now if you see here we have a one S3 bucket. Now we are able to get it. Okay, super, awesome. Okay, the reason how it is happening, because of in the route table, we mention that 0.02 NAT gateway. Okay, now what I'm going to do in the private route table, I'm going to remove this entry, NAT gateway entry. Now what will happen? Let's see. Okay, edit this. Okay, now we can remove this one. Save changes, and I'm going to that 1B as well. Now you can select here 1B, routes, edit, and here you can select remove this and save changes. Okay, super. This part is clear, right? Any questions now? Okay, awesome. We have removed the NAT gateway. Now I'm trying to do this one. Let's see. AWS S3 LS. If you see here, the particular route table, okay, the particular route table, example, if you take this one, here we have associated the subnets. This particular subnets, we don't have internet access. Only we have internal only. Local means it is only 10.70 series internal access we have, but we don't have the internet access. That's why when you try to do this one, AWS S3 LS command, it is throwing, it is throwing here, it is not able to do anything. If you want to do that in detail, now what you can do, you can give it -, debug. Okay, now it will give the in detail. Remember, guys, debug. Okay, now enter. If you see here, it is happening. Every time it's trying to set up the new connection, and currently we don't have the private, right? We don't have public access, right? That's why it is throwing the error. Okay, now what we can do? Now you can cancel this. Now what you can do, using this particular gateway VPC endpoint, okay, we can set up and we can add that particular gateway endpoint to the route table, so that what will happen now when you try to here, you don't require internet access because we have attached the VPC gateway endpoint, right? That's why it will work. Let's see that, so that you will get some more idea. Okay, now what I'm going to do, you can go here, you can come here. Here we can see that endpoint. Select this endpoints and then create a endpoint. Now here what I'm giving here infra-VPC, okay, VPC S3 endpoint, okay, infra-VPC S3 endpoint, and here you can select that AWS services, and then you can come down a little bit, and here you can type it S3. Okay, remember here we have a gateway endpoint and also interface endpoint. As I said, if you are going to create for within the region for S3 or DynamoDB table, go with the gateway endpoint. Okay, in case if you want to use this for multi-region, then go with the interface endpoint. Okay, but in our case, we record only within the region. That's why I have selected this particular region, and then here you need to select where you are going to create this particular VPC endpoint. Okay, for that one you can select here your VPC selected, and here most important, you need to attach that this particular VPC endpoint, which route table you have to be attached. Example, in our case, we have a private route table, right? Private subnets. That's why here you can select this private route table 1A and 1B. Okay, I have selected 1A and 1B. It means this particular VPC endpoint, it will be add automatically that particular entry in this particular two route table. Okay, clear. Now you can come down, and here we can see that policy full access I'm giving. In case if you want to give the specific policy here, you can give it. Example, you wanted to restrict only specific resource, you can mention here. But in my case, I'm giving that full access. That is fine. It won't be cause any issue. Okay. Now you can come here. Sorry, here we can see that key, and here we can see that value. Okay. Now you can create the endpoint. Once you create, right, it will create the immediately endpoint. It won't take much time because this is the it won't be take much time. But if you create the interface endpoint, right, it will take little bit time to create because it needs to be created, that ENI everything. Okay, that's why. Now if you see here we have created, and we can see that and this is the endpoint ID and status it is showing when it was created, what is the endpoint type, whether it is gateway or whatever. And here we can see that which VPC we have. And then here we can say service name, what is the service name, and also is there any private DNS names enabled? Currently we haven't. And also you can go to the route table, and here we can see that 2 route table we have attached. In this particular 2 route table, it is automatically, it will add the entry. I will show you that one. Okay. And then policy, whether you give that full access or specifically you have mentioned that specific resource, specific action, everything can see it here. But in our case, we mentioned that full access. Okay, super. Any questions here? And in case if you want to be manage your route table, now you can click here. If you want to remove this route table also, you can remove it. Okay, fine. Now what I'm going to do, just cancel it. Now I'm going to the route table. Okay, now you can refresh this page. Okay, now I'm going to the private route table 1A. Now here you can go to the routes, and here you can see, right, it is automatically added because when we create that VPC gateway endpoint, during that time we have selected route table, right? In the particular route table, it is automatically added this particular entry. You don't require to add it manually. Let me show you that what is that entry. Now if you see here, this is the PL1, and this is the specific VPC endpoint ID. Okay, understand, right? Fine. Now what you can do, now you can go here. I'm going to this particular server. Now I'm running this one. Let's see. If you see here, now if you see here, I'm able to get it, but I can show you without debug so that you can easily to get it. Now if you see here, you are able to get it. Okay. If you observe one thing, in the route table, we haven't declared any NAT gateway or NAT instance or internet gateway. Okay, clear, right? We haven't declared anything. Now, how it was work? Because of this particular VPC endpoint. Okay, we have mentioned this VPC endpoint. Now, what is happening? The traffic will go to through gateway endpoint only. It is within the AWS account only. It will going through the traffic. Now, what is happening, right? It is not going the traffic through internet. So there is no any issue in the security related as well. Okay, clear, right? Any questions? And one more thing, you may ask question, Murli. Here you mentioned that it is automatically added the gateway endpoint. That is fine. Now, usually in the real time, we'll be having that 0.02 NAT gateway as well, right? NAT gateway as well, right? Now, how it will be decided whether it is go to that internet or internal? Okay, that is a good question. Okay, remember one thing. If we added this particular PL, the particular what is that endpoints? So first it will go choose this one only instead of going to the internet gateway. First it will choose this particular one. It means, hey, this particular route table, it is already added the gateway endpoint. So the traffic should be go through the gateway endpoint only, not the internet. Okay, understand that? Understand that? Any questions? Again, I'm repeating. You may ask question, Murli. Here we have a 0.02 NAT gateway. It means we have internet access for this particular route table, whatever we have attached the subnets. Okay. Now here we have added this particular VPC endpoint. Which one it will be choose? It will be choose this particular one. Okay, not the internet. First it will be check it. Is there any internal one? Okay, if it is internal one, what is that gateway endpoint or interface endpoint, whatever. First, it will be choose it. If it is exist, yes. If not, it will go through the internet gateway or NAT gateway, whatever. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? This is the one of the most important in interview level. Hey, have you worked on VPC endpoints? Where exactly you have worked? In the real time, mostly, right? We'll be use this particular gateway endpoint for S3 especially. Okay, especially we'll be work for S3 only. Okay, and also in case if required multi-region or in case if required multiple services, different services we wanted to set up, right? Example, SNS, SKS, okay, whatever, right? Then we'll be use this interface and VPC endpoint as well. Okay, depends on use cases we'll be using. Okay, any questions now? Just we recap what we discussed. First one, we discussed about what is VPC endpoint, what are the types of VPC endpoints available, what is the major difference, and also we saw that differences as well, and also without VPC endpoint, how it will work, how it is working, and then with VPC endpoint, how it is working. We saw that. For that one, we choose that S3 bucket, S3 VPC gateway endpoint for S3, and then I have set up everything. and then I have showcased the differences. And also I said in the route table, how if even though if you have an internet gateway or NAT gateway, how it will be choose whether it is go through the internet or it is go through that. If you have any gateway, example, gateway endpoint or interface endpoint, whatever. Okay, everything we discuss. Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about how do we enable VPC flow logs at subnet level, at VPC level. How do we do? Let's see. Before going to enabling, right, first we will be understanding like what is VPC flow log, what is the uses of using VPC flow logs, what are the features of providing, what are the advantages of using, everything we can discuss, okay? And coming to that VPC flow logs, this whatever VPC flow logs, right, it will be capture information about the IP traffic in and out from the specific network interface of your VPC. Example, when you launch the EC2 instance, it will be create the ENI, right? Let's take example, I'm logging to the EC2 instance. I'm doing some operation, network level. So everything it will be captured, this particular VPC flow logs. Understand, right? And with this particular VPC flow log, it will be helpful with monitoring and troubleshooting network connectivity. If there is any network connectivity, right, we can easy to troubleshoot VPC level. Okay, we can easy to troubleshoot at VPC level if we enabling that VPC flow logs. Remember, guys, default VPC flow logs not enabling it. We have to be enabled if it required. Especially we will do the for production. We will be enabling it, and also in real time, right? Most probably, majority of the organization they will be maintain VPC flow logs 18 months. Minimum 18 months will be maintaining. Example, today we today logs it will be stored, it will be saved it till 18 months. Okay, that is the company, depends on company to company. Usually we will be maintaining the 18 months. Okay, fine. What are the features of VPC flow logs? One is capture network traffic. As I said, right, it will be capture all the logs, all the traffics from in and out of your VPC. In and out means whatever is coming and it is going, everything it will be captured. Okay, and next thing is integration. You can integrate this VPC flow logs to the S3 or CloudWatch to store our VPC flow logs. See, we have created VPC. You want to store this particular VPC flow logs, right? We require some services. For that one, right, we can use CloudWatch or S3 to store our VPC flow logs. Remember, guys, especially for lower environment, we'll be store it in S3. The reason is if you store it in CloudWatch, right, it will be little bit high compared to S3 pricing part. So in production, right, usually we will be store it in CloudWatch only. In case if someone they are using different logging mechanism, it means like if they are using Sumo Logic, Splunk, right, they will be store it in there as well directly instead of storing in CloudWatch. Okay, remember one thing, CloudWatch is little bit high pricing compared to S3. Okay, and in CloudWatch we can create a log group. We can easy to troubleshoot. We can easy to search, but S3 level, right, it will be stored as a zip file. Okay. That's why for lower environment, we'll be stored it in S3. And then if you require sometime, right, we can use athena. Okay, athena in AWS, you can retrieve the data as well. Okay, fine. Now filtering, we can filter the particular logs based on traffic type, whether it is allow or whether it is deny. Okay, whether it is allow block, we can choose specific type and we can search it. Okay, fine. Now we can see the diagram so that you will get some idea. Then we will go with the practical part. Now, if we see here, we have a AWS account. Inside the AWS account, we have a VPC. Example, instead of Moodley, you can consider as a dev. Dev VPC, it contains the 10.100 series. Okay. Now you can see the public subnet. In this public subnet, we have given the specific range. Okay. Now you can see it here, private subnet we have. Okay, and also we will be create the specific IGW, we will be attached to the EC2 instance. Now, what we will do, right? We will be enabling this VPC flow log at VPC level. Remember, again, I'm telling we can enabling this VPC flow logs at VPC level, at subnet level, anything's fine. But if we enabling at VPC level, right? Whatever we have under this VPC, any subnets, right? All the traffic it will be captured. Let's take example, I enable only subnet level. So what will happen, right? It will be capture only subnet level. It won't be capture other subnets. Okay, understand, right? I'll always highly recommend, right? We will be always highly recommend to enabling VPC Flow Logs at VPC level only. Okay, and then we'll be store it in S3 bucket. Currently, I'm showcasing in S3 bucket. Later part, I will show you how do we store this VPC Flow Logs at cloudwatch as well, so that you'll get more idea. Okay, fine. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. For that one, right? What you have to do, you can go here. If you see here, we have a dev VPC and also we have a subnets, pub, dev, pub, private, app data subnet. Okay, now first we will discuss VPC flow logs at VPC level. So what you have to do, right? You can select the dev VPC. Okay, now if you see here, we have a flow logs. Click this one. You can see it here, create a flow log. Click this one. If you observe here you have to give the name of that particular flow log name. You can give any name. Example, this is the dev, right? I can give dev VPC, okay, flow logs. Okay, now here very most important, how you want to be filter. As I said earlier, right? Filtering we can do either accept or reject, okay, or all. It means like this VPC flow logs, what type of request you want to be capturing, whether accepted one or whether rejected one or both accept and reject. We highly recommend to give all only. Okay, we highly recommend to give all traffic, whether it is accept or reject doesn't matter. I need to capture it. Okay, I need to store it in one. And maximum aggregation interval, right? You can select the 10 minutes. The reason is, right, what are the uses of maximum aggregation interval? Whatever you are going to store it, this particular VPC flow logs, right? Let's take example, you are storing in S3 bucket. What will happen? It will be capture logs 10 minutes and it will be bundle it and then it will be sent to S3. If you select 1 minute, right, you may lose some packets. That's why we highly recommend we'll be use it 10 minutes aggregation only. It means like every 10 minutes it will be pushed to S3 bucket. Example, if you store it in S3, if you store it in CloudWatch also, it will be pushed to CloudWatch. Remember, guys, if you select this 10 minutes, right, your logs will be showcased after capturing everything, right? It will be 10 minutes. It means it will be 10 minutes delay. Okay, fine. Now you can see it here, destination one, where you want to be stored, whether you want to be stored it in CloudWatch, whether you want to be stored it in S3 bucket or data file host in the same account, different account. Especially for production, as I said, we will be stored it in CloudWatch to easy to troubleshoot. Some organizations, right, they may use Splunk, CloudWatch, right? Then what they will do, right? Splunk or Splunk. Okay, they will be use Splunk especially. Okay, and also Sumo Logic they will be use it. For that one, right, they will be stored it in S3. From S3 they will be pushed to Sumo Logic or Splunk. Okay, some organizations they are not using any logging. They will be use AWS one. They will be stored it in for production related VPC products. Will be stored in CloudWatch only. Okay, understand, right? These are one of the most important where you guys are storing VPC flow logs. You can tell them for production related we are storing in CloudWatch. For dev QA UAT we are storing in Amazon S3 bucket for saving the cost. Okay, fine. Now I am selecting the S3 bucket. Now if you see here, it is asking the S3 bucket ARN. Currently we don't have any S3 bucket, right? Now what I am doing here, right? I will be create one S3 bucket. I will be create one S3 bucket. If you see here we have to select the general. You already aware, right? S3 bucket. How do we create? Create a bucket, and you can select the general, and you can come down here. I'm giving that dev VPC flow logs. You can give some random number. Okay, I'm giving that because enter level you be required a unique name, right? Remaining we don't require, just create it. Now if you see here, we have created the bucket. Now what you have to do, right? Copy this one and go to here, copy the URL. Copy, you can select this one, copy that specific ARN. Okay, copy this ARN. I have selected. Now you can come here and you can paste it here. Okay, now see here, we have pasted ARN of the Amazon S3 bucket. Okay, now fine. Now here very most important. What type of log format you are going to use it? Whether you want to use AWS default format, whether you want to use custom format. Usually, right, AWS default format is enough. Okay, usually we follow AWS default format only. If you see here version, what is the version? Here we have two things, version 2 and version 234 also. For this log format, right, you can go to the Google. Okay, you can go to the Google, you can type it like VPC Flow Logs format. Okay, you can get this link here. We have a flow log record. Click this one, and here you can see that specific one. As I said, right, we have a default format and also custom format. Okay, default format is nothing but AWS format. Okay, and available fields, right? We have a multiple available fields. You can see it here, version. By default, it is a version 2. If you choose customized one, right? If you, let's take example here, you have choose customized one, you have selected specific one. It means like it will be mixed both version 2, version 3, version 4. It means like it will take the version 4. Okay, fine. Now you can see it here, account ID. Account ID is nothing but our AWS account number. And the interface ID is nothing but ENI ID. As I said, right, the traffic capturing through ENI only. Okay, fine. SRC address is nothing but source address. Okay, whether it is IPv4 or IPv6, you can see it here. And also you can see the data type, whether string or data type int or something, you can see it here. DST address is nothing but destination address for outgoing traffic. Okay, SRC address is incoming traffic. DST address is outgoing traffic for either IPv4 or IPv6. And also you can see the source port, destination port, what protocol you are going to use it. Okay, you can see it here. Okay, what packets. Okay, and you can see it bytes, whether how many bytes it is. And also you can start time, end time, when it was started, when it was completed, action plan. Okay, whether it is accepted or whether it is rejected. Okay, here only we have two options. One is whether it is accept or whether it is reject. And the log status. Okay, whether it is okay or whether there is no data, it means there is no traffic during that time. And if you have any skipping data, you can see it here. Okay, and also which VPC ID, you can see it here. Okay, subnet ID, instance ID, TCP flags. Okay, everything we have option. You can go through this one so that you will get some idea. You can see the region level, subnet allocation, and also we have a ECS related cluster ARN also. For that one, right, you have to enable this option. Okay, now what I'm doing here, right, you can see it here. First, select the default one. Here you can see that version, account ID, interface ID. Interface ID is nothing but ENI ID. Okay, and you can SRC, address, source port to destination port, protocol, packets, bytes, start, end, action, log status. These are the default one. Okay, if you require customized one, right, select this one. You can select the example. I need account, action. I need bytes, destination. You can select this one also. But remember, guys, as per this particular default format is enough. Okay, we always use the default format only. In case if you require customized one, yes, you can create it. Okay, but the default is fine for us. Okay, and also you can see that if you any ECS related metadata, you can select here. If you select this one, right, you can see it here, ECS task definition. Okay, ECS is nothing but it is related to EKS only. Okay, fine, right? Elastic Container Service. Okay, now you can see the log format, whether you require test or we require this one. Okay, we always use the test only, default one. You can select that one, and you can come here and partition logs by type. It means like every 1 hour you want to be segregate. Okay, we selected the specifically segregated for aggregation interval. It means like every 10 minutes it will be sent it. Here, okay, every 1 hour or every 24 days, 24 hours, you want to be segregate separate different date. Let's take an example. If you select 24 hours, right, it means like today date it will be storing all the today logs, and tomorrow date it will be storing all the tomorrow logs. Okay, if you select the 1 hour, right, in so particular 1 hour 60 minutes it will be stored the 1 hour 60 minutes means 1 hour logs it will be stored, and again it will be created a new folder and it will be stored the next 1 hour. Okay, we recommended to choose this every 24 hours so that you can easily capture that particular device. Okay, fine. You can understand that every 24 hours. Now you can create the flow logs. Now what I'm doing here, right, I'm creating the flow logs. Okay, again I'm explaining one thing. If you see here, what is the name of that? I'm giving this whether you want to be reject, allow, accept or reject. You can select maximum aggregation interval. You can select the 10 minutes, whether where you want to be store it. As I said, for lower environment, we will be stored it in Amazon S3, and you can see the S3 bucket URL ARN as well. We already created, and also here we select the default. I don't require this ECS metadata, and also you can select the log format test only. and the partition by partition logs by time is I'm selecting the 24 hours. Okay, create a flow logs. Okay, now we created the flow logs. Now if you see here, we created the flow logs. Go to the flow logs. Now here you can check it. Here if you observe here, this is the flow logs, and it will generate one ID. And here it is showing whether it is all traffic or only accept or reject. And what is the destination, you can see it here. And also you can see the destination name, that particular bucket. Do you have any IAM role for ARN? No, we don't have. Do we have any cross account IAM role? No. And if you see here, we select the 10 minutes. And when it was created, today we created this one. Here, most important, here whether it is active or not. If it is active, right, it means perfectly whatever VPC flow logs it is storing to S3 bucket. If it is not, right, you can see the log file format, default one we selected. And here, if you select, if you go here, we don't have any option to edit it. Once you create, right, you don't have any option to edit it, but you can use Athena to verify the logs. We have Athena in AWS feature. You can select this one and you can select the specific one. You can do that one, generate that one. But currently we don't require. Fine. Now what you have to do, right? We created. Now we can go to the S3 bucket. Earlier it was empty, right? You can refresh this one. Now you can see it here. Remember, guys, how it will be stored. Now inside the bucket, AWS logs, then account number. Okay. Then here you have to see the logs. Wait for a few minutes, okay, so that it will be stored, because we selected 10 minutes, right? You have to wait for that one. So meanwhile, right, I will also show you at subnet level. If you go here, go to the subnets, okay, select any one of the subnet. Okay, let's take example. I don't require VPC level. I want to enable only specific subnet level. What you have to do, right? Select the specific subnet and go to flow logs. Here we have option flow logs, create a flow logs. Here you have to give the name. Same, whatever we saw that in VPC level, right? Same option only we have here also. So what you have to do, if you select the cloudwatch logs, you have to give the ARN and you can select the specific one. You can create a flow logs. Remember, in real time, we won't be enable the VPC flow logs at subnet level. We'll be enabling only VPC flow logs at VPC level only. Okay. If you require, okay, then you can choose this option, okay, at subnet level, especially for let's take example. I want to be enabling only database related subnets. It means data subnets only. I don't require public private app. Okay, then you can come to that. You can enabling it. But again, I'm telling, highly recommend is enabling it. Okay, enabling it. Where we need to enabling it. VPC level only, highly recommend. Okay, wait for a few seconds. Here you can check it here. No, still not yet created. Wait for a few seconds. Okay. And also we have created EC2 instance, right? The particular test server. I have connected that server as well, so that it will be. I connected, right? Backend it will be attached to EC2 instance private IP. It means like ENI, right? ENI it will capture the information. It will be stored in VPC. Okay. You have to wait for a few seconds so that you will get some idea. Let's take example. I'm using update, some other things. Okay. And also I connected the server. So we have to wait for a few minutes so that you will get some idea. Okay. Usually like we selected 10 minutes, right? You have to wait for 10 minutes to reflect the changes. I mean, all the logs. Yeah. After 10 minutes, we waited for that one, right? Now you can see it here inside this particular bucket, AWS account. AWS log on specific account, right? Here you can see the VPC flow log. Select this one, specific region. Which region we have configured? US East, right? US East. Year 2024, month 8, date is 23. Now here you can see the 01 first. Okay. Now here you can see the specific logs. Logs will be stored in .gz format. Okay. What you have to do, right? There are two ways. One, you have to download this one, and you can use specific tool and unzip it and you can see it. Now you can click this one. Now, meanwhile, I'm downloading. Okay, it is downloaded. Okay, this is the one way. And second way is what you have to do, right? You have in AWS, we have Athena. Okay, this is the one of the service. Using this Athena, right? You can retrieve that whatever we have a S3 bucket, the VPC flow logs, right? You can retrieve. So as I said, right, we'll be store all the lower environment related VPC Flow Logs in S3. If we require, right, we can use Athena. And also some organizations, they are using Sumo Logic, Splunk, right? They are storing the logs in there as well. Okay, clear, right? But especially for production, if they are not using any Sumo Logic Sumo Logic or Splunk, right? They'll be stored the logs in CloudWatch. CloudWatch part later I will show you. Okay, now I have downloaded, right? Now you can see it here, specific logs. Just now it is captured, everything's fine. Now I have downloaded. What you have to do, if you see here, there are a lot of things. Every 10 minutes it will be captured and it will send to S3 bucket. Okay, clear, right? Now what you have to do, I have downloaded. Now you can unzip. Now if you see here, you can open this file. Okay, now you can see it here, everything. Now if you observe here, this is the version. What is the version number? Account ID, this one. Okay, interface ID, this one, ENI ID. Okay, and also source IP, this one, and destination IP, this one. Okay, 10.100 means internal one. Okay, and also source port. What is the source port? What is the destination port? Protocol 6 packets. How many packets? How much bytes? And when started? When end? Action, whether it is accept or deny, and you can see the status is okay or no data. You can see it here. Okay, understand that? This is the VPC Flow Logs, and then I have downloaded. But in real time, right? We have a multiple, not only this thing, right? We have a multiple things. So only downloading and open this file, it is not recommended. So we always use okay. We always use either Athena, and also we can store these in logs in Sumo Logic or Splunk to retrieve the data and to troubleshoot quickly. Okay, instead of storing, downloading individual zip file and verify, very difficult, right? That's why we always use the either, if it is AWS service, we'll use the Athena to capture. We retrieve the data and we troubleshoot what was the issue. Okay, where exactly it is reject, everything we can able to see it. Especially if something happened at network level, right? We can check the logs at network level, what exactly, whether it is accepting or not, whether it is rejecting, any suspective IP addresses we got, everything we can see it here. Okay, understand it? These are one of the most important VPC flow logs. Okay, and the next one is like we can delete the flow logs one so that it won't be charged anything. For that one, go to the VPC and go to the specific VPC. Okay, now here I'm going to this flow logs. You can select this one, actions. You can delete the flow logs. Once you delete, right, you can't revert back, just delete it. Okay, I have deleted. Now it's fine. Now, and also I have to delete the bucket as well, because it is storing that particular logs, right? Already we have some logs here. So what you have to do, right? First we need to go to the bucket. I'm trying to delete it. It is showing that error like. First you have to empty the bucket. So for that one, right, first you can empty this bucket. Click this empty, and here you can give the permanently delete. Remember, guys, once you delete, you can't revert back. That's why please careful when you are deleting this specific buckets, VPC flow logs, everything. Okay, deleted. Now you can specifically select this, delete, and you can copy paste that particular bucket name. Okay. Yeah, any questions now? And one more thing, guys, just follow this documentation, VPC Flow Logs record one, so that you will get the idea like what are the options, what exactly a start date, time, end date, and also packets, bytes, how much bytes, action, everything you can able to understand easily. Okay, any questions now? No. Now we are going to discussing about what is ENI, why we use ENI, how do we attach this particular ENI to the EC2 instance, what is the purpose of using ENI, everything we can see it. Okay, ENI is nothing but elastic network interface. Okay, first of all, what is ENI? ENI is nothing but elastic network interface, or the virtual network interface that can be attached to EC2 instance. Once we create this particular ENI, right, we can attach this particular ENI to EC2 instance. Okay, the major used to manage the network traffic, IP addresses, and also security group levels. Okay, security group rules as well. Remember, guys, when you create the ENI, right, it will be create the one IP address, private IP for the particular private IP, right? If you want to be attached to the EC2 instance, we can use the ENI. Okay, and we can see the features as well so that you will get some idea. Then we can go with the practical. Okay, and coming to the flexibility attachment, this particular ENI, right? Once you create the ENI, we can attach or detach from EC2 instance without stopping them. We don't require to stop the EC2 instance. We don't require to stop the EC2 instance. It is automatically, if you want, you can attach. If you want to detach, you can do that one as well. Okay, and multiple IP addresses. You can have one or more IP addresses, private IP addresses. Okay, and also secret groups as well. We can be associated with multiple secret groups as well. This particular ENI, right? If you want to be associated with multiple, we can do that one as well. Okay, let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. For that one, right, we can create the ENI and then we can attach to EC2 instance. Okay, let's see the demo. For that one, right, let's take example. You have created one EC2 server. When you create the EC2 server, it will assign one IP, correct? Private IP, it will be assigned from our CADR range. Okay, our infra CADR range is 10.70, right? That's why it is assigned to 10.70 to 19.153 based on that particular subnet. Okay, clear, right? Now it is assigned. Very good. Okay, now when you create this particular server, it is assigned, right? This particular IP, it will create the ENI. Okay, you can go here, come down. Here we have a network interfaces. Select this one and you can search with this IP. Okay, we can search with this IP. Let's see. Now, if you see here, it is created the one ENI. Okay, remember when you create the server, it will assign the one private IP. The particular private IP, it will create the ENI. Okay, ENI, inside the ENI, we have a one IP. Okay, now if you see here, this is the ENI ID, and whether it is using or not, it is showing which VPC, which subnet, and also this here, it will show that secret group, which secret group. Okay, and also available zone, which available zone. Everything you can able to see it here, and also you can see the private IP and what is the public IP. Okay, if you have a multiple DNS IPv for DNS, also you can see it here, everything here. Okay, understand, right? Fine. And also which EC2 instance we have attached. Okay, what is the attachment ENI ID? Okay, when it was attached time, everything you can able to see it here. That is fine. Now what we need to do, right? What we need to do, if you want to be attach one more IP, one more private IP to this particular server. Okay, one more private IP to this particular server, then we can use we can create the ENI and then we can attach the particular ENI to this particular server. Okay, understand, right? You may ask question, why do we require multiple IPs for this particular single server? There might be some use case. Let's take example, this particular server, we have installed the database. Okay, if you want to be maintain the failover, right? One server, one IP to another IP, during that time we'll be use this particular ENI, we can attach the multiple IPs as well. Okay, clear, right? Fine. Now what I'm going to do, right? Go to here, ENI network interfaces. Here I'm creating the network interface. Here it is asking the name, new ENI for EC2. Okay, example I'm giving. Okay, this ENI only for EC2 purpose only. Just I'm giving that name. And here you have to select that specific subnet. Okay, in our case, right? Our server is in infra VPC. In the infra VPC, we have a 1B. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to create this 1B public one. Okay. You can select here public, and here you can see it here, right? Our server is infra public 1B. Select this one. How do we know? You can go to here EC2. I can show you that one as well. Go to here. Okay, go to here, and here you can select here. If you see here, this particular we have created in 1B, that to public subnet. Okay, because it is enable the public IP address, that's why. Okay, understand, right? Now we have selected that one. If you want to be assign auto assign IP, or if you want, you can give the range of that particular 10.70 series. Okay, you can assign the particular CADR range of this particular subnet range. Okay, fine. Currently I'm auto assign, and then here, if you want to be assigned to any secret group, you can assign it, but we don't require that. Just you can go ahead and create a network interface. But it is asking at least we need to attach it. Okay, fine. You can select here. Example, I'm selecting infra VPC secret group. Okay. Now you can go ahead and create a network interface. We have selected that network interface. Okay. Now it is created the network interface, and here now where is created? Now here you can see it here, this one. Okay, this one created. Now select this one. Now you can go and check it here, right? What is the IP it is assigned? The IP it is assigned, come down. This is the IP it is assigned, 10.70.16.13 and IP is assigned. Now what we need to do, right? If you want, you can select that one, go to the actions. Okay, if you want, you can associate. Okay, you can attach, and here it is asking the which VPC, infra VPC. Here you can select the particular one. Remember, guys, this particular ENI, it will work subnet level. Okay, it will work subnet level because I have selected 1B, right? That's why it is showcasing only 1B related server. Okay, now you can select this one, and here you can come down. And also one more thing, remember, guys, ENI Express instance type t2.micro does not support the ENS Express. Okay, fine. You can select the attach. Now, if you see here, we have attached that particular ENI to the server. Now you can go and check it here, right? Just refresh this one. Currently, it is 1, right? You can refresh this. Now, if you see here, it is assigned another IP as well. Okay, understand that? Another IP, and also you can go to the secret group as well. Okay. Currently, it is only default secret group. Okay, understand that? Any questions now? So this is the usage of assigning the specific IP, private IP to this particular server. We can use the ENI, but in real time, right, depends on use cases. By default, it will be created when you create the server. But in case if you want to be attach one more ENI, one more IP address to the server, right? During that time, you will be create the customized ENI, and then customized ENI. I mean, it's like create a new ENI, and we can attach that particular ENI to the server. When you are creating the ENI, right, first you have to be check the particular server, which subnet is there, which available zone. So you can, when you creating ENI, you have to select that particular available zone and also that particular subnet, so that you can come and you can attach that particular one. Okay, understand that? Any questions now? This is the one of the most important in interview level. They may ask question, what is the usage of ENI? Okay, if you create the EC2 server, it will create automatically ENI or not? Okay. And is it possible to create a ENI and attach to the particular server? Okay, and they may ask question different way, like I have an EC2 server, I want to attach one more private IP. Is it possible? Okay, yes, it is possible using ENI only. Okay, clear, right? Now we are going to discussing about what is prefix list, where we use prefix lists, what are the advantages of using prefix list. One by one we can see that. Okay, and first one, before going to discussing about prefix list, right, first we can understand one thing. Let's take example. We have a EC2 server. Okay, we have a EC2 server. In this particular EC2 server, we have a security group. If you see here, this is our security group, and here, if you see here, we have a only one IP. Then that is we are giving here 0.0. Okay, usually it will in real time, right? It will be like this. Example, it will be like this. Okay. Now we have a vendors. Okay, they wanted to connect the server. Okay, they wanted to connect the server, and also they wanted to access this application. Okay, for that one, right, what we can do, right? Usually they gave their IP address. They gave their public IP address. How do we get the public IP address? Go to here, go to the Google. Okay, and what is my IP address? What is my public IP? Okay, you can select this one. Okay, and here you have option. What is my public IP? This IP address. Now you can get this particular IP address. So this is the single IP. That's why we'll give it /32. So here we got that multiple IPs, public IPs. We need to add this particular public IPs to the either security group level or either VPC route table level. We need to do. Usually what we will do, right, when it comes to the security group, we need to enable port number 22, 443 and 80. We need to enable. Example, I'm telling, guys. Okay.
Unknown caller.
Understand, right? So usually what we will do, we will add it one by one. How we will add it? We will be go here in the table add rule, and then here we can give it SSH port number, and we can give it here. Okay, and then we can give it the particular IP address, right? So we have to be added multiple ones. If you see here, we need to add it like this. Okay, we need to add it for all the IPs. Okay, we need to add it for all the IPs. If you see here, total 368 IPs, we need to add it for 22 port number, we need to add it for 443, and we need to add it for 80 port number as well. Now, instead of that one, if you add it here, right, currently 8 into 3, 24. Usually, secret group, it will be allow only 60 inbound roles. By default, it will be allow only 60 inbound roles, right? If you add it, if currently we have only 8 IP addresses, we need to allow for 8 into 3, because 22 port number, we need to allow 8 IP addresses, and for 44380 as well. Instead of adding this one, we can create the prefix list, and we can add this IP ranges there, and then here, instead of adding all individual, just we can type it here prefix list, and then we can add it the particular one. Okay, so that right, whatever IP is there, right, we can easy to, automatically the particular whatever IPs is available in this particular prefix list, right, it is automatically, it is enabled port number 22. And in case some reasons they send the mail and they said like they don't require the access for this particular 35. So what we can do, right, just go to the prefix list and then just remove this particular entry. Okay, understand, right? Just we can remove that particular entry. Instead of adding here, first thing is we can save that inbound rules instead of adding individually. Okay, second thing is if you want to be modified, right, just go to the prefix list. We don't require to go to the each and every security group and modify these entries. Okay, understand, right? Fine. Now we can see that theory part and then we can go with the practical so that you will get some idea. Prefix list in AWS VPC are a collection of CADR blocks. As I said earlier, we have a total 8 IP address. Okay, that can be used to simply management of large set of IP addresses in security group level, and also we can use it in route table. If there are any other resources, right, that required CADR blocks, right, we can call this particular prefix list. Okay, this is one of the most important, guys. We always frequently use if we have any common IP addresses. If you want to be allow specific port number, right, instead of adding individually, we can create the prefix list and we can add it. Okay, by using prefix list, you can manage and reference multiple CADR blocks as a single entity. Okay, single entity inside the prefix list, we can add it everything, reducing the complexity and potential of for errors as well. Okay, and there are key features available in this particular prefix list. First one is simplification. Okay, we can manage multiple CADR blocks as a single entity, making it easier to maintain and update. If you want to be add, if you want to update, right, we can easy to do that one. Okay, and also consistency. Here, ensure consistency CADR block uses across multiple resources. Example, we have a multiple security groups we have. If you want to be use same prefix list, whatever we mentioned, right, we can just go and add it that particular prefix list. Whatever IPs is there in this particular prefix list, it will be allow the particular port number, whatever allow the port number, right, it is applied to the particular IP addresses. Okay, and the next one is scalability. Okay, easily update the list of CADR blocks without having to update each individual resource. We don't require to update individual resources. Just what we can do, right, if you want to modify or if you want to delete, right, just go to that prefix list and we can do that modification. I can also show you. Let's see that how do we create and use that. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. For that one, right, what you have to do, go to here VPC. Okay, here we have a prefix list. Prefix list. If you see here, manage prefix list, click this one. And here, there are multiple prefix list available, but currently we are going to our customized one. Create a prefix list. And here, example vendor. Vendor name is Gantasoft. Okay. Example I'm giving, vendor name is Gantasoft. Here, maximum entities, how many maximum entities I'm giving here. Okay. I'm giving the specific maximum entities. Example, I'm giving 30. It means like maximum you can give that 30 entries here. Okay. Now I'm giving that 30, and also here address family is whether IPv4 or IPv6. Currently, I'm giving IPv4 only because our all are IPv4 only, right? And here you can add the particular entries. Add new entry, and then here you can add it all the IPs. Okay. Now I'm adding here one IP. Okay, and add another IP. Okay, and then add another IP as well, 55 as well. Okay, and then you can come down, and here you can add another this IP as well. Total 8 IPs we have. Okay, we have to add it everything. Instead of adding individual in the security group level, we can create this prefix list and we can attach this particular prefix list in the security group. I can show you that one. Okay, add. Okay, one more we have. Example, these are all IPs are related to Gantasoft vendor. Vendor name is Gantasoft. The Gantasoft related their IPs here we are adding. Prefix list we have added. Okay, now we can check it here. Now if you see here, this is the prefix list name and it will generate one ID, and here it is maintain the version. If you modify anything, right, it will be maintain the versioning, and the maximum entries we can keep it 30 only. And here whether it is IPv4, IPv6, IPv4, it is creation completed. Who is the owner of that one? And in case if you want to be restore prefix list, if you want, you can specific version, you can do that one. In case if you want to resize the prefix list, currently we kept 30, right? In case if you want to be increased, you can do that one. Currently maximum 30 and current one is 8 only we have added. If you want, you can do that one as well. And in case if you want to be export to CSV, we can do the CSV as well. Okay. Now fine. Now what we can do, right? If here we can see the association. Currently we haven't associated any of the secret group or route table, right? That's why it is not able to see it here. If you share this particular prefix list to another one, you can do that one as well. Currently we haven't shared anything. Okay. Now what I will do, right? Go to that this particular secret group, infra VPC secret group, go to the inbound rule, and here what I'm doing here, right? Select this one. Okay. Select this one. Here I'm giving that example port number 22. Here instead of giving IP ranges, I'm giving the prefix list. If you see here you have to refresh this page, okay? Because earlier we have added, right? We haven't added refresh this page. That's why you're not able to see it. Just click it, SSH port number, and here you can give it prefix. Sorry. Yeah, if you see here, Gantasoft, select this one. Okay, Gantasoft we have created a select that one and save changes. Now we have added that particular one, and also you can refresh this page, prefix list one. Okay, we can refresh this particular page, and here you can see it here, right? Go to the association. We already associated with this particular secret group. Okay, understand, right? Now what will happen? What will happen? You don't require to add it individual IP addresses. Just we can add it the particular prefix list for this particular port number 22. And also if you want, you can enable 443 or 80 also. HTTP 80. Sorry. HTTP, and here you can give it Gantasoft, select this one. Here you can see that one. Okay. And also I'm adding for HTTPS. Okay. HTTPS, and here you can add it Gantasoft. Here we have a Gantasoft, and then you can select this save rules. Okay. We did for that one. Okay. Wait, what happened? Modifying, there was error. The maximum number of rules for secret group has been reached. Okay, fine. It is reached because we are using a open free one, right? That's why it is reached the particular one. Okay, anyway, I'm deleting. Usual rate maximum we can keep it 60 inbound rules. Okay, fine. You can save these changes. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, basically, right, in this particular secret group, maximum we can add is 60 entries, 6 inbound rules, okay, 6 outbound rules. But the thing is, I am thinking like we are using a normal AWS account, right? Open free trial, right? That's why it is not allowing to add multiple one. But you understand, right? How it will be added the particular one. Okay. Any questions now? This is the one of the most advantage of using prefix list. Okay, in real time, right? Sometimes if we will get that particular IP ranges in this particular IP addresses from specific vendors. So then what we will do, right? Instead of adding individually, we will create the prefix list and we will give the specific name, and then we can add that particular prefix list to the particular server. I mean the particular secret group level. Okay. Now what will happen, right? In case if you want to be modified, okay, later we got to know we don't require one of the IP. So then what you can do, right? We can click the modify, and then I'm removing this one. Okay, 30.52, and then we can apply this one, save prefix list. What will happen, right? It is automatically apply the particular changes. So you don't require to go and change it in secret group level, because secret group level we attach the prefix list. Now we have removed one IP. So it means like the particular IP 32 range, right? The particular IP address, he or she don't have the access to connect this particular server. Okay, understand, right? Clear, right? Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about what is DHCP option set in AWS VPC. Okay, DHCP is nothing but dynamic host configuration protocol. Okay, in this particular DHCP, we can define our DNS servers, either customized one or either we can use the default Amazon provided DNS server. Remember, guys, in this particular DHCP option set, right? It is defined domain name servers and domain name, and also other DHCP options we have will be configured there. Okay, and here there are key features of DHCP option set. Here domain name server, in this domain name server, right, we will be defined under this particular domain name servers. It will be used for that particular EC2 instance. Okay. And then here domain name also, here you can specify the domain name of your VPC, whether it is use default Amazon provided DNS server or customized one. Okay. And here NTP servers as well, network time protocol servers will be defined, the particular server IPs. And also we have a NetBIOS also. If you create that directory service, right? So here, there will be defined that specific NetBIOS names, servers and node types will be declared there. Okay. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. For that one, right? Go to the VPC. Okay. Here you can see that we have a two VPCs, prod VPC and infra VPC. Okay. Now, if you see here left side, we have a DHCP Option Set. And here we have multiple things. We already created a prod VPC DHCP and also infra DHCP, and also default it will use the default Amazon provider DHCP. You can click this default one so that you will get some idea. If you see here, when you create any VPC, default it will be utilize the default DHCP, that is the Amazon provider DNS. Using this Amazon provider DNS, it will be create that server and it will be resolved using this particular domain name servers. But in case if you are using directory service, that AD, if you see here AD, right, that directory service techworld with multi.in. Okay, this if you use this particular one, right, if you want to be configuring it in this particular DHCP, you can go here. Here you can see that infra VPC, right? This is the customized one. Okay, because we already having the domain name, that is the techworld with multi.in. Okay, techworld with multi.in, and also we can define here the domain name servers as well. These are the customized one. If you see here, when you create the directory service, you can see it here. Go to that networking, and here you can see the DNS addresses. Remember, guys, these are the AD addresses. Okay, two IPs are AD IPs. Okay. Now here you can see that DNS name servers. One is 10.70.84.141, 10.70.93.127, and also NTP servers also same, and also NetBIOS servers also same only. Okay, understand, right? These are the customized DHCP, okay? Domain dynamic host configuration protocol, okay? And understand, right? This is the customized one where we can be defined. As I said earlier, right? If you create any VPC, default it will be utilize the Amazon DNS servers. But if you want to be configured, right? What you can do, right? If you want to be configured, right? What you can do here, go to VPC, select the VPC, go to the actions. Here we have a edit VPC settings. Here you have an option. If you want to be use default one, you can select the default one. In case if you want to be use customized DHCP, right, you can define this one. Okay, remember one thing, in real time, we always use the customized one only. The reason is we will be integrated with AD, right? We will be integrated with AD Active Directory. For that one, right, we required a customized one only. That's why we'll be use that one. Okay, understand, right? Now we can save this particular one, save the changes. Okay, understand, right? Now what will happen, right? This particular infra VPC, it is using the customized one. Now you can go with the prod VPC. Just we created this one. Default DHCP it will be utilized. You can go to that edit settings, and here you can see it here, right? This is the default one. 213. This is the default one utilizing. It means like this particular whatever servers are creating this particular VPC, right? It will utilize the default DHCP only. Okay, it means default Amazon provided DNS servers it will be utilized. How do we identify? For that one, what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to create a two servers launch instance. Okay, one is I'm going to create in prod VPC. Another one I'm going to create in infra VPC. Okay, yeah, we can create here prod server, and here you can select this particular one. Okay, you can go here, select this one. Okay, and you can come down. Now here t2.micro, you can select here infra prod VPC PEM file. Here I'm selecting the prod only, and here I'm selecting the public IP because I need to connect with the public, right? That's why select the public, and here it is enable the port number 22. Just launch the instance. Okay, now it is creating the server in public subnet. Okay, now what we will do, we will create in private also. Go here and go to the EC2 again. Go to the instances and launch instance. I'm going to create in infra VPC server as well. Okay, that's why I'm giving here infra server. Okay, and you can come down. And you can come down. I'm selecting 2023 only. Amazon Linux, anything's fine. And here, most important, you have to select the infra VPC, sorry, PEM file. And here you have to select the infra VPC. I have selected infra VPC, and also here I'm giving Here I am giving that particular public one. Okay. Now create the launch the instance. Now it is creating the server as well. First I can connect the prod server, select this one. Okay. Why it is not enabled assign the port IP address? The reason is in the VPC level, right? In the VPC level, in the prod VPC level, subnet level. Go to the subnets, go to the 1A, right? I think I haven't enabled that auto assign public IP. If you see here, I haven't assigned. That's why it is not assigned the public IP. Okay, you can save this one, and I am deleting this prod one. Okay, and I can create again. Okay, if you don't have public, right, you require a client VPN to connect it. We can discuss client VPN part later. Okay, now you can launch again. Launch the server, prod server. Okay, and you can come down. You can select here. Here I'm selecting the prod. Okay, select the prod, and here select 1A. If you see here, auto send public IP, it is assigned the public IP as well. Now you can go here EC2, and we can verify that one. Okay, for that one, right, go to the instances. You can refresh the instance. Okay, here you can see that infra server, select this one. It is assigned the public IP. Now I'm in download folder only. I'm connecting that particular server. Okay, SSH-I, EC-user, and then you can give it public IP. Okay, now I'm connecting this one. Okay, now you can connect the particular server. Okay, clear, right? Now what I'm doing here, right, I'm using nslookup google.com here. If you see here, the particular DNS server utilizing this 10.70.84.141. Okay, it is using the customized DHCP configuration. Okay, understand, right? If I give nslookup, that particular infra one, it is using the customized DHCP. The reason is we configured a DHCP customized one, and then we have assigned that particular. If you go and check it here, right? This is the customized one. This is the AD related one. Okay, AD servers. Okay, now this one we have attached to this particular infra VPC. That's why it is using this particular DNS custom DNS servers. Okay, understand, right? Now you can log into that prod server as well. I can show you. Go to the download. Okay, SSH-I product, and then you can do the EC-user, and then you can select the public IP. Where is that? Here you can select it. Okay, now you can see it here, right? This is the public server, and select the copy that, and then you can give it here. I'm connecting the public server as well. Now you can connect here. Okay. Now I'm using nslookup of the particular google.com. Okay, nslookup google.com. Okay. Now if you see here, it is using the default DNS server. If you remember, when you create the VPC, during that time it will utilize second is the DNS server, right? Amazon provided DNS server, right? That is the one 10.60.0.2. Okay, understand, right? It is using the AWS managed DNS server. It is using this one. Okay, but when it comes to the infra VPC, right, that particular server, it is using the custom DNS servers. Okay, understand, right? This is the major difference when you use the DHCP. Okay, in real time we always use the DHCP only. The reason is we will be integrated with AD, right? Active Directory. If you want to be join that particular server to the Active Directory, you need to create the DHCP with the particular DNS servers. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Any questions? Fine. What is the next? You can come down here, and the next one is DNS hostname and DNS resolution. Okay, DNS hostname, right? When you enable this particular DNS hostname, right, it will be assigned the public DNS name in the particular public server. Okay, when you create the server, right, in the public subnet, it will be, if you want to be generate the particular DNS name, right, you have to enable this DNS hostname in the VPC level. I can show you that. Okay, if you see here, this is the infra, this particular one, right? If you go here, prod one, if you see here, it is assigned the particular IPv for DNS, right? Because in the, if you go to the VPC level, go to that prod VPC. Okay, if you go here, prod VPC, select here, edit VPC settings. If you see here, in this here, DNS enable DNS hostname, right? If you click this option, right, here you can see that if you want to be assign the public DNS hostname, you can select this particular option. Okay, if you go here, prod VPC, select here, edit VPN VPC settings. If you see here, in this here, DNS enable DNS hostname, right? If you click this option, right, here you can see that if you want to be assign the public DNS hostname, you can select this particular option. Okay, if you go here, prod VPC, select here, edit VPN VPC settings. If you see here, in this here, DNS enable DNS hostname, right? If you click this option, right, here you can see that if you want to be Okay, for the particular public IP addresses, you have to be enable this option. Okay, that's why if you see here, if you check it here, right, the prod server we have enabled. That's why it is assigned that particular public IPv for DNS. But when it comes to that infra, right, if you see here, infra server, it is not assigned the public IPv for DNS. The reason is, if you go to that infra VPC, right, go to infra VPC, select this and go to actions and go to VPC settings, right? Here we haven't enabled that option. That's why even if you launch the EC2 instance, right, that particular public IPv for DNS, it is not assigned. Okay, understand that differentiation? In the prod, we already enabled, that's why it is assigned. But when it comes to that infra, right, we haven't enabled VPC level, that particular enabled DNS hostname. That's why it is showing. That's why it is not assigned the particular DNS hostname. Even though I have created a server in public DNS, it is not assigned. Understand, right? But when it comes to the real time, right, we always recommended to enable this DNS hostname. We always recommend to enable this DNS hostname. Okay, understand, right? Any questions now? DNS hostname, what exactly? In VPC level, you have to be enabled whether you required or not. Okay, but recommended way, we need to enable that DNS hostname to assign the particular public IPv for DNS. Okay, understand that? Second one is DNS resolution. DNS resolution. If you want to be allowed, disable the DNS resolution within your VPC. Okay, yeah, you have to be enable this option. You have to be enable DNS resolution. If you want to be assigned, I mean, here, right? If you want to be allow or disable the DNS resolution within your VPC, if you want to allow deny, right, allow or disable, right, you have to be decide here. If you select this checklist, right, it will be allow the DNS resolution. Okay, if you enable, right, instances can use AWS provider DNS servers. If you enable this option, right, what will happen? It will use the AWS DNS servers. You can click this one here. Also, you can see the same info. Okay, if you enable this attribute, right, it will be resolved that using that particular Amazon DNS server. Okay, supported for the VPC. Okay, remember these two are mandatory to, we need to enable it. In real time, we always enable both enable DNS resolution and also enable DNS hostname. Will be enable both options. Okay, we have to be verified when you creating a VPC, right, through Terraform. We have to be verify these options whether we enable or not. If it not enable, we have to be enable these two options. Okay, understand that? One is enable DNS hostname to assign that public the IPv for DNS. We have to be select this one. Okay, if you want to be within your VPC, if you want to be allow DNS resolution, right, you have to be enable this DNS resolution. Okay, understand, right? Any questions now? This is the both DHCP option set and also DNS hostname and DNS resolution. Okay, understand, right? DHCP option set and DNS hostname and resolution more important. They may not be asked in improve level, but when it comes to doing the work, right, during daily day-to-day, right, this DHCP we always use, because in the VPC level we will be apply that one. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, Instagram, Telegram, and also we have a Tech World with Murli website. I already published all the DevOps related courses. If you are planning to enroll the course, right, you can use DevOps 50 coupon code to get 50% discount. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next video.